coming today. I'm so glad everyone was able to make it again. Before we start, I'd like us to each introduce ourselves again. Just, it's been a week and, we haven't really, maybe we might have forgotten different things, but just say your name and then say one thing that you did last week that was the highlight of your week, okay? So we're going to start with you over here.
My name is Milos. What did I do last week?
Yeah, just something that you thought was, a good thing last week.
A good thing? Well, I worked all week, so that's one good thing I did.
Okay, so working was just the highlight of your week?
Yeah, that's mostly what I do.
Okay, sounds good, Milos. You?
Name's Nikki, and I went for a hike last week, and that was real fun.
Oh, great. Sounds good. Okay.
My name is Shiva, and I got to go to the aquarium last week.
That's awesome. Cool. Okay.
My name's Zach, and I got to go play Ultimate Frisbee last week. And I went golfing, and I went play basketball, and I went running too.
Oh,
yeah.
Lots of activities
Lots
for
of
you.
activities for me. Very, very active.
Great. Well, that's great. All right, guys. So just as you guys know, this is a group about stress. We're all here because, we have different things that we've been struggling with relating to stress. It can be different things for each of us. But we're here just so we can support each other and try to, figure out just, different things or just be able to feel some sort of therapeutic alliance just from supporting each other and being here. So that's the purpose of the group. As far as our rules, last time we talked about confidentiality because you guys, sometimes we say some things that maybe we don't want the whole world to know, and it's just better to respect for everyone else that we should keep everything just within this group. Do you guys think there's another rule that we should add to that as well?
I don't think we should be on our phones while we're here.
Okay. Does everyone else agree with that we shouldn't be on our phones?
Unless it's an emergency.
Okay. Do we want to make that a rule?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Great. Is there anything else you guys would like to add to that? Okay, so just confidentiality and then not have our phones out. Okay, great. Also, I'd like to go over expectations. Our purpose is about stress, but I'd like to hear more from you guys, like what you guys would like to get from this kind of group. So how about we start over here, Zach? What expectation you have?
To have a better life, because of a reduced stress level, because I'm under a lot of stress.
Okay, so you hope that coming to this group will help you meet that goal.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mine is to just see if I can find better ways to manage stress and to handle everything, because I don't necessarily think that by coming to the group that life will get less stressful, but just find a way to deal with it more effectively, I guess.
Okay, that's a good point. So you want to acquire maybe something new that would help you manage it. That's great. And me?
Mine's same as hers. I guess just a practical way to manage stress. That'd be nice.
Okay, sounds good. And you?
Yeah, just managing stress, living a healthier lifestyle, I guess. Have a better life.
Okay, so you think those things that coming to this group, hopefully you'll find something that will make you meet that goal.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, it's great to hear from what each of you guys have expectations of. That's something to keep in mind as we come to these meetings frequently. So I'd like you guys to split off into two. So either, you could exchange this way or this way. Just split it into two groups. And just go over one thing that was just, very stressful for you this week. And talk about it with your partner, and we'll just discuss for 30 seconds, and once we're finished, we'll share around the group, okay? All right.
You can go for it.
Well,
I guess that's one thing.
district
Okay.
manager
I mean, you know,
and regional
it's
vice
a
president
fantastic
came
plan.
by
She
Yeah.
expresses
and
Oh,
visited
God.
me.
I can
Oh,
see how that would be
really
stressful.
stressful. We have no idea what
Yes,
any of
yes,
this
it's
is.
a little
Like, she
bit
was
more
way up
personal.
here,
I
and
lost my
like,
puppy
it's
for
just
about 10
scary.
minutes,
Oh, really?
running
She
around
was
the apartment.
That's
It
stressful.
was,
It was
scary.
pretty stressful,
Yeah,
especially
I would
when
be too.
he was faster than me.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting
I get that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
that's good.
happened like
At
3
Fresh
times
Order
now,
when I
so-
worked there, whenever
Yeah, I
like
guess that's fine.
the
Guess you win.
person that owns the company will randomly pop in, and then like the
Yeah.
different like area managers will come in and be so stressful. So
Not bad. What about you?
You figured things
Um,
Yeah.
I
We
don't
just
know. A
need
lot
more
of
time.
kids at school were really sick this week, and with the weather being as bad as it was,
Yeah,
it was
it
just
was
really
messed up.
stressful. Because like, there's this one kid who like legitimately has pink eye,
They
and
go through a lot.
they let him come into the class, and like we wouldn't send him home. And that's super contagious, and we're like, we can get that, the other kids can get that. And the kids are just like really sick, and it's really stressful because a lot of the parents are just like really irresponsible with their children, and the directors of the school don't want to piss off the parents.
Shiva, I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I really realize that you know maybe that's something you should share with the rest of the group. Both of them here are done, so we're just gonna go around and each of us are gonna share.
Okay.
If that's okay.
You can start since you're going.
Okay.
Yeah?
I was just saying that this week was a little stressful because of the weather, a lot of the kids were more sick. And one of the kids in the class had pink eye, and the directors of the preschool didn't want to send him home because they didn't want to upset his parents. But pink eye is contagious, and with everything else going around, it can be really frustrating when the directors don't send a sick child home because they're trying to appease the parents, and it just enables the parents to be irresponsible, and it puts the other kids at risk. And when they're in such a small room, especially when it's this cold and they can't go outside, that's stressful.
Oh wow, that really does sound like maybe something stressful. All right, and Zach, what is it that you shared?
Oh, that at work, you know, these very, very important people came by to visit me yesterday. It was really stressful. Like it was just like they would leave and do this and do that and go over here and do this and oh my goodness, it was like the vice president like way up.
So how does that make you feel? When
It's
you're
just
that
like my heart rate
close?
like races and like my feet ache. Like that's one thing, like running around, like my feet ache, and it just makes me super, super tired and just exhausted. Like I just can't take it anymore. Like oh my goodness, it was just too much. And then like having to help like other people too, like customers that come in, can you fix this for me? Oh my goodness, like I just don't know. They were oh yeah, it was
Sounds
ridiculous.
exhausting.
It was so exhausting.
All right. Well, you know what? You bring out a good point about how stress is related to exhaustion.
Oh
And,
yeah.
lots of different things. And maybe that's something we can talk about later on with the group. Okay, Nikta, what is it that you had to share?
I lost my puppy around the neighborhood for like 10 minutes. That was really stressful. But I got him back, so I guess it wasn't as stressful. But it happened 3 times, so I guess I just get a little stressed out when I'm around him or walking him outside because I'm afraid I'm going to lose him.
So when you're walking outside, like how does that make you feel?
Just really protective, and I keep him real close on the leash. So, yeah, maybe a little overprotective.
Oh, I see.
Well, language barrier sometimes can be a problem, you know. It's kind of hard to express yourself sometimes,
Oh, okay.
at work or other places as well.
So that brings a
Sometimes
lot of
it's
stress
yeah.
to you. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. Sometimes it gets frustrating,
Frustrating?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see how that could be it. So all y'all have shared different scenarios, they're all different, but they're all related to stress. That's like their thing here. You mentioned exhaustion, like sometimes it's just a lot of like fast-paced activity, you feel exhausted and you feel like it's a lot of pressure
Yeah,
on
it's
you.
like getting like caught in like a milk jug and like it's getting ready to explode.
Yeah, and then Shiva also mentioned that like for her it's more of like just the situation, basically you're responsible and different things like that. What would you guys say is like one common theme about like when you first feel that stress? Like what is that first thought that goes through your mind?
Oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? It's all, the world's gonna end today. Yeah.
So it seems very something that you can't, maybe overwhelming.
Yeah, just right on top of you.
Okay.
Like 1,000 milk jobs, like just.
Does anyone else feel like that?
Mine can feel overwhelming, but more in the sense that I have no control over the situation, because at that point you present the situation to your directors who are in charge, and if they won't call the parents and say the child needs to go home, there's nothing you can really do than try to keep the child to him or herself in the classroom so it doesn't affect the other kids. But in such a small area with such young kids, it's not really possible to just keep a child contained all that long. So it's trying to like do damage control than anything else, and that's.
Yeah, it's like you go over here to this side of the room, and all the rest of you stay over there against the wall.
It's outside of your control, but it's still stressful because you're seeing worst case scenarios and how bad it can get, and it's frustrating that those in authority positions don't handle what they should be handling.
So you would say it's also overwhelming for you to handle?
It can be after because they're 10-hour shifts. So towards the end of the day, you're just really tired and exhausted, and you've been trying to keep this child not around the other kids. And
I see. And for you?
Maybe just like a lack of control. Like as soon as I lost Bruiser, I guess I just switched modes. Like, what do I do to get it back? Like strategizing. Do I run to the right? Do I run to the left? Do I pretend like he's chasing me to try to draw him back to me? So I guess when I get stressed out, it's like trying to strategize as to how to decrease the thing that's stressing me out.
Okay. I haven't heard much from you, but
Well,
you also share that it's also something that
yeah,
stress is a big part of it.
yeah, big part. I mean, it's hard sometimes trying to find different ways to say things, maybe, different ways to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It can be frustrating.
Yeah. Would you also say it's something that's overwhelming, or?
Yeah, it could be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. I see. Well, all you guys have shared a little bit more of how that looks like, but I know all of us are not artists here. Maybe some of you are. I don't know. But I'm just gonna pass out some paper, and we're just gonna draw. It could be a picture, or a phrase, or something that represents how you feel as far as your stress in your life goes. And it could be a picture. It could be you. It could be anything. Just something that shows what that looks like for you.
I gave my pen to you earlier.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, it's terrifying.
So just a couple more seconds. After we're all done, we're all just going to explain a little bit of what we drew to each other. Also, one thing I asked, this is a group, you know, so just make sure that when you direct your voice or yourself, direct yourself to other members as well, because, you know, I noticed some of you guys were looking straight at me, but it's important that we all include everyone else in the circle as well. Okay. So who wants to go first?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I drew a maze.
Okay.
Not a very good maze. But I drew a maze because I feel like I'm trapped in the very middle and I'm trying to get out, but it's impossible to get out and get away from the stress. And so it's like all surrounding me, and like every time I get to like a point like where I think I'm gonna be stress free, it's like I hit a dead end and sunk right then and there. So for me, it's like a maze, and it's just never ending, and it won't ever stop, and like there seems to be no ending of it.
Okay, so you're saying, like you were mentioning before, it's an overwhelming feeling.
Yeah, and it's all around me too, and like there's just no way to get out into the open.
What is one word you would choose for that? What's one word that captures it well? Is there one?
A box. It's like you're stuck in a box in the maze
Okay.
with stress. You and stress.
All right. Well, you know that's really interesting. We'll probably talk more about that later.
In the box.
Yeah. Well, Shiva, what is it that you drew?
Oh, I just drew a lot of. I was trying to draw something that looked really tangled up, and
I think you succeeded.
thank you for that. Sometimes, like what I shared was an instance that was stressful, but I feel like when I feel overwhelmingly stressed, it's because there are a lot of scenarios, and they either feel out of my control or there's so much going on that's stressful in different areas of my life that it's overwhelming to the point that I don't know where to start. So it just feels like a tangled web that I'm caught in, and I don't know where to start and where to pick at to reduce the stress level,
Okay.
just depending on the situation.
Feels like a web. So again, would you say overwhelming, or what is another word you would just use for that?
I guess overwhelming just because of when it's different areas of my life, but because there's so much of it, just not knowing where to start and where to start chipping away and reducing stress stuff. So it's almost as if some people with stress and stuff, it motivates them to get things done and to fix their issues. For me, if there's so much of it, it can feel almost like it's paralyzing.
It's kind of like being in Alice in Wonderland, you know?
Zach, I just want to let you know that I know you're so excited to share, but it's also important to make sure each person feels like they're being heard. But we can pick up later.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah. Shiva, what were you saying?
Just that if there's so much of it, you just don't know where to start and where to begin with it. So sometimes it's better. It seems easier to sit and just let it be, but then the stress is still there.
Yeah. That's understandable. Okay, well, Nikta?
I drew an island because my stress makes me want to do something and go somewhere peaceful.
Okay.
So it's me and my puppy, because he's the one giving me the stress. And if I was in a less stressful situation, like by the ocean, or had an environment that really relaxed me,
Yeah.
I feel as though my stress.
So not the island from Jurassic Park, though, right?
No.
Not that island.
Not that
The different one. That one looks pretty peaceful to me.
one. Except for the
Just
monster bird. But
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, and Mila, what did you share?
It's like a fog. It feels like a fog sometimes if you drive through fog.
Oh, is that a car?
Well,
Or
yeah, it's like a labyrinth. It's like a maze. Trying to get out the fog. Sometimes it's hard to deal with the stress.
wow. You know, I noticed a common theme. Oh, yours was a little different, but yours was more of the area that you wish you could be when you feel that stress. But you all were, it seems like you guys were drawing something that seems almost hard to get through, like an obstacle. And, you know, it's interesting because we all have different situations here, but, you know, we all feel in some sense like it's an obstacle or something that we have a hard time getting through. And, well, you know, that's just, it's interesting because it's all different from where we're coming from. But, you know, our time's almost up. But before we finish, you know, I'd like to spend a little bit more time about what you guys think you can do in order to move past this obstacle as far as the next coming week. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything that you would say, this is exactly, but it's just all based on how we're feeling, you know. So, what is something that you think could help you feel like you can get through this obstacle?
Let me start with her.
Sure. I actually have thought about it. I thought that maybe writing it out in list form, all the areas or things that are stressing me out, and kind of breaking it down. And while there are things I may not be able to control, like the situation with the director and the kids, there are other areas of my life that I can control, and maybe focusing on things that are within my control and taking care of those so it's less of there's just a bunch of stress and it's minimizing what is actually stressing me out.
Okay.
And maybe even with the director and stuff, having a conversation and expressing the frustration. While that may or may not do anything, at least it's an action towards doing something.
Okay, so making something more compact and tangible for you to be able to work, or a list form, that's what you mentioned, right?
Making it so that there's a way to approach it and go about dealing with it rather than just sitting and being overwhelmed and allowing it to continue to overwhelm.
Okay, you think that would help you feel like less overwhelmed then? Okay. Nika, or who's next? Who wants to share next?
It's like being a beach, and you like have like the waves of stress coming in,
Well,
and then like
Zach,
you just
can I stop you there for 1 second? I don't know what you were describing, but the question that we're trying to all, you know, we're wrapping up is just, what is something that would help you feel like less overwhelmed? So something you can do in the next week, or just something you can think of for now.
maybe like having one of those balls and just squeezing it.
Okay.
One of those stress balls, aren't they? You know, like just having one of those in my office would probably help.
Okay. So something that would,
Something tangible.
something,
Yeah.
okay. Right.
I was thinking about maybe doggy daycare, maybe, or just walking my dog in dog parks. Might be
Okay.
better.
Okay.
Just being social, maybe in English class.
Yeah.
Maybe Rosetta Stone.
It's a good option, right?
You know,
They have that
Yeah.
for English.
just take my time and
Yeah.
They have it for
You know, I think it's great, guys.
English is great for it.
You know, the point is that, you know, sometimes these feelings we get, you know, they could be for real reasons because they're something, you know, stressful's happening, but sometimes we have to see if there's something that we can do that would change the way we feel about those things. And I think all y'all have shared different things that could help for that. So, I really think this is something very positive, and if we continue to meet, I think we can continue to support each other and find different ways to manage our stress. So I want to thank all of you guys for coming, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay?
Okay,
thank
Thank you.
bye.